Hades, one of the most enigmatic figures in Greek mythology, is the ruler of the underworld, a realm beneath the earth where souls of the dead reside. He is a son of the titans Cronus and Rhea and the brother of Zeus and Poseidon. Unlike his more celebrated siblings, Hades seldom leaves his shadowed domain. He is often depicted as stern, regal, and unyielding, not malevolent, but inexorable, an embodiment of death's certainty rather than chaos. Hades' kingdom, sometimes called the House of Hades or the Underworld, is a place of rivers, gates, and various regions, including the Elysian fields for the blessed and Tartarus for the wicked. Though feared by mortals, he is respected as a just ruler, maintaining balance between life and death. Hades' realm is also home to mythical creatures like Cerberus, the three-headed guardian dog, and spirits that wander the shadowy plains. Though often overshadowed in myths by gods like Zeus and Athena, Hades' stories are profound, often intertwined with themes of love, mortality, greed, and the delicate boundary between life and death. The story begins in a meadow bathed in golden sunlight, where Persephone danced among wildflowers, her laughter mingling with the hum of bees. She was the daughter of Demeter, goddess of harvest, and her beauty was radiant, a reflection of spring itself. Birds circled above, singing melodies that seemed to echo her joy. Yet beneath the earth, in a shadowed realm untouched by the sun, Hades watched silently. For years, he had observed the world above, isolated in his kingdom of shadows. He saw mortals live and die, gods bicker and play, but he, Hades, remained alone. And then he saw Persephone. A spark of something unfamiliar, desire, admiration, perhaps even loneliness, stirred in his heart. One day, as Persephone bent to pick a blossom, the earth trembled. From the fissure, Hades' black chariot, drawn by coal-dark horses with eyes like burning embers, burst forth. The horses' hooves thundered, shaking the meadow, and before Persephone could scream, Hades grasped her hand. "Do not fear," Hades said, his voice a deep resonance, neither cruel nor kind, but commanding. "Come with me." Persephone struggled, her heart pounding, the sunlight fading as she was lifted into the chasm. Flowers wilted instantly where she had stood, and the birds fled, leaving the meadow eerily silent. Above, Demeter sensed her daughter's absence. Panic gripped her, and she wandered the earth, searching. Her sorrow withered the crops, turned rivers muddy, and brought famine to mortals. The world trembled under her grief. The gods convened, and Zeus, unwilling to see the mortal realm perish, demanded that Hades release Persephone. Hades, though firm, was not cruel, he had come to care for the maiden in ways few mortals could understand. Yet Persephone had eaten 6 pomegranate seeds in the underworld, binding her to the land of shadows. "Then it shall be as it must," Hades said. "She will dwell with me for half the year, and with her mother for the other half." Thus the cycle of seasons was born, spring and summer, when Persephone returns above ground, and autumn and winter, when she descends back into the underworld. And in the shadows, Hades' heart softened, no longer just a god of death, but a god capable of love and longing. Orpheus, son of Apollo, possessed a lyre whose music could move stones and soften the hearts of beasts. He and Eurydice were inseparable, sharing dreams of eternal love. Yet their happiness was fleeting. On a warm afternoon, while walking through the forest, Eurydice stepped upon a snake hidden in the grass. The venom struck instantly, and she fell lifeless. Grief-stricken, Orpheus vowed to retrieve her from the underworld. Guided by sorrow and hope, he descended through caves and rivers, past shades of the dead who whispered their lamentations. When he reached the gates of Hades' domain, even the fiercest guardians paused, drawn by the purity of his grief. Hades, seated upon his obsidian throne, regarded Orpheus with curiosity. "Mortal," he said, "why do you trespass in my realm?" "I seek Eurydice," Orpheus replied, his voice trembling. "Without her, life is unbearable. Let me take her back." Orpheus played his lyre, and the music swirled through the dark halls. Cerberus' 3 heads drooped, the spirits wept, and even Hades' stern features softened. After a tense silence, Hades spoke. You may take her, but heed this, until you reach the mortal world, do not look back. One glance, and she is lost to you forever. They began the ascent, the path winding and treacherous. Orpheus' heart ached with longing, and doubt gnawed at him. Was she truly behind him? Just as the light of the surface appeared, his eyes flicked back, and Eurydice vanished, pulled into shadow, leaving only a whisper of her presence. Orpheus emerged, heartbroken, his music now tinged with despair. Hades, though firm, had granted him a chance, a reflection of his capacity for empathy, tempered by the laws of death and fate. Hades' wealth is hidden beneath the surface, in the veins of the earth, the gold and silver that mortals mine and the fertile soil that sustains life. He is often called Platon, the giver of wealth. One myth tells of a mortal who sought Hades' treasures, hoping to claim them as his own. Descending into the caves of the earth, he encountered rivers of molten metal and jewels that sparkled even in the darkness. Shadows whispered warnings, but greed pushed him onward. Hades appeared, his eyes like midnight flames. "Why do you seek what is not yours?" the god asked. "I wish to be rich," the mortal replied, trembling. Hades' voice rumbled like distant thunder, "All wealth belongs to the earth and to death. Take it, and it shall consume you, for nothing mortal can hold what comes from the depths forever." The mortal fled, haunted by visions of gold turning to dust, of mines collapsing and rivers boiling. Hades' riches, like death itself, are inevitable yet unattainable, a reminder that earthly desire is fleeting, and only respect for the natural order preserves balance. Sisyphus, king of Corinth, was clever, cunning, and arrogant. When Hades came to claim him, Sisyphus deceived the god, chaining him and delaying the rightful passage to the underworld. For a time, death itself halted, and chaos spread as mortals grew careless in the face of mortality. Finally, the gods intervened. Hades was freed, his shadowy aura swelling with righteous anger. Sisyphus was brought before him. "Clever, but not clever enough," Hades intoned. "Your defiance ends now." As punishment, Sisyphus was condemned to roll a massive boulder up a hill, only to watch it tumble back to the bottom for eternity. The myth highlights Hades' authority, he is unyielding, and no mortal cunning can escape death. Even the cleverest are subject to the laws of the underworld, where balance must be maintained. The river Styx flows as a boundary between life and death, its waters both sacred and terrifying. Charon ferries the souls who have proper passage, but some mortals try to cross unlawfully, thinking to cheat death. In one tale, a hero attempted to leap across the Styx without Charon. The river's dark waters writhed, pulling him under. Hades, appearing in a swirl of shadow, raised a hand. "No mortal may escape the passage that awaits all," he said. "The Styx is eternal, as is the law it represents. Life and death are bound together, one cannot exist without the other." This myth emphasizes Hades' role as guardian of order. His realm is not a place of cruelty, but of necessary law. He enforces the cosmic balance, ensuring that mortality is respected, and that souls find their rightful place in the underworld. One of the labors of Heracles involved Hades directly, retrieving Cerberus, the three-headed guard dog of the underworld. Heracles descended into the dark realm, his torch cutting through shadows, the air heavy with the scent of earth and decay. The shades of the dead whispered his name, curious about the living hero who dared enter their lord's domain. Hades, seated on his black throne, observed the mortal cautiously. "Why do you enter my halls?" he asked, his voice echoing like distant thunder. "I have come to fulfill my labor," Heracles replied. "I seek Cerberus, to bring him to the surface, alive, without weapons." Hades smiled faintly, a rare expression for the ruler of the underworld. "Many have tried to challenge my guardians. Few leave alive. But I honor courage. You may take him, if you can hold him without harm." Heracles approached, speaking softly to Cerberus, who growled with three throats. Using only his strength and calm voice, Heracles subdued the beast. Hades watched, impressed by mortal skill and courage. When Heracles completed the task and returned Cerberus to the underworld, Hades allowed the departure without interference, showing that the god could respect heroism even in his shadowed realm. In later Roman-influenced myths, Hades plays a subtle role in stories of mortal souls like Psyche, though Greek versions differ. Psyche, curious and daring, ventured into sacred and forbidden places. She sought knowledge and immortality, guided by her love for Eros. At one point, she faced the underworld as a test, where Hades' authority was paramount. She had to navigate rivers, spirits, and traps, relying on intelligence, courage, and obedience. Hades' presence was felt in every shadow and echo. Mortals who enter my halls are weighed by their hearts, Hades' voice would resonate in the darkness. Only those pure in courage and intent may leave unchanged. Psyche's journey demonstrated that Hades' power was not only punitive but also instructive. He tested the boundaries of mortal will, teaching that wisdom, courage, and respect for the dead were necessary virtues. The myth of the Danaids tells of 50 sisters who were condemned to eternal punishment in the underworld. Most killed their husbands on their wedding night, and for this, Hades assigned them the Sisyphean task of filling leaking vessels with water for eternity. Hades appears in this myth not as a villain but as an enforcer of divine justice. He ensures the punishment reflects the crime, the endless toil mirrors the endless consequences of their actions in life. The sisters' cries echo through the underworld, but Hades remains impartial. Justice is not vengeance, he intones. It is balance. Even in eternity, the order of law must hold. This myth emphasizes Hades' role as a god of justice, impartial and inevitable, administering consequences according to the moral order of the universe. In Greek mythology, Hades is sometimes connected to Milanoe, a lesser-known goddess of ghosts and spirits. She is said to wander the night, bringing madness and visions of the dead. Some myths claim she is a daughter of Persephone, conceived by Zeus' union with her while in Hades' realm. Hades permits her to roam, understanding that fear, dreams, and shadows are part of the mortal experience. The living must remember the dead, Hades is said to decree. Without remembrance, mortality is shallow, without fear, life is careless. This myth illustrates Hades' subtler influence. He governs not only death but the boundary between life and consciousness, shadow and memory. One of the most famous adventures in the underworld involves Theseus and Pirithous, who attempted to abduct Persephone as a test of courage. They descended into the underworld boldly, unaware of the peril. Hades, always watchful, confronted them. "You seek my queen as if she were a prize," Hades said, his tone cold and severe. "Fools! Only the dead may dwell here without consequence." Hades trapped them in chairs of stone, showing that even heroes are subject to the laws of death. Theseus was eventually rescued by Heracles, but Pirithous remained trapped forever. This myth underscores Hades' authority. No mortal can overstep divine boundaries without suffering, and even cleverness or heroism cannot override death. Though Hades rules the underworld, he delegates the judgment of souls to his 3 sons, Minos, Rhadamanthus, and Aeacus. One myth tells of a mortal king who tried to cheat death through trickery and bribes, believing that cleverness could sway the judgment of the dead. Upon death, the mortal arrived at Hades' gates. The god of the underworld, robed in shadows, stood with eyes like molten coal. "Why do you appear before me?" Hades asked, his voice resonating with both authority and cold inevitability. "I am clever and wise," the mortal replied. "Surely I can find my way to favor." Hades handed him to his sons. Minos deliberated, seeing through deception. Rhadamanthus weighed the mortal's choices in life. Aeacus examined acts of kindness and cruelty. Despite all attempts at trickery, the verdict was clear: the mortal would face punishment for greed, and Hades' authority was absolute. This myth emphasizes Hades' impartiality. He is not cruel but enforces cosmic balance. No cunning can escape the justice of death. Before Persephone's abduction, other gods sought her hand, unaware of Hades' gaze. One story tells of Apollo, who tried to woo her with light and music, and Hermes, who attempted to charm her with clever words. Hades, observing silently from his dark throne, allowed these suitors to approach but never interfered directly, until the fateful day he descended for Persephone himself. She must choose the light of life or the depth of shadow, he mused, his voice echoing through the underworld. When he finally approached Persephone, it was not a contest of power but of inevitability. In the underworld, death and shadow are permanent, and Hades claimed what destiny had prepared. This tale highlights Hades' patience and inevitability. He does not rush, but when the moment is right, his will manifests, changing the fates of mortals and gods alike. The river Lethe, flowing through the underworld, causes forgetfulness in the souls of the dead. Some myths tell of mortals or heroes who drink from it to forget grief, guilt, or life itself. Once, a grieving mother descended to reclaim her lost child's soul. Hades allowed her to see the child but warned her. Drink from Lethe if you wish to ease your sorrow. But beware, forgetfulness is a double-edged sword, some memories must remain to honor the dead. The mother drank, tears streaming, and memories faded. Though her grief was eased, a part of her lost the joy of remembering. Hades' wisdom is reflected here, his role is not punishment alone but guidance through the inevitability of death. During the Trojan War, many heroes faced premature death. Hades' realm was filled with shades of warriors, some restless, some resigned. One myth tells of Achilles, whose shade visited the underworld after his death. Hades welcomed him with solemnity, offering insight rather than punishment. Mortal fame is fleeting, he said. Your deeds echo in stories, but here, all are equal in shadow. Remember, glory above does not erase the inevitability below. This myth emphasizes Hades' impartiality, he does not favor mortals for valor, kingship, or beauty. In death, all are subject to the same laws, reinforcing his image as the ultimate equalizer. Greek culture valued proper burial. Those denied rites became restless spirits, wandering the living world. Hades, disturbed by this imbalance, sent Hermes or Persephone to guide these souls. One story tells of a soldier killed in battle but left unburied. His spirit haunted his village. Hades, observing, summoned a guide. Bring him to rest, Hades commanded, for mortals must honor the dead. Without order, chaos touches both life and death. The tale highlights Hades' role as guardian of moral and spiritual balance. He ensures the living respect the dead and the dead respect the laws of mortality.